Hello, friends. How in the world are you? This is your good friend, Coach Bill. There is a revolution underway. There's not a river, and it's not about making things great again. Political rhetoric is what it is. Political rhetoric. Down on the ground, the realities of our American way of life are under constant change, challenge, subversion, and impact. At its essence, the cause of liberty and freedom is a concept that is relegated to history books as illustrated and recounted by authors we know little about and whose political inclinations run the gamut of the political powers in charge. The social economic spectrum realities in the United States of America mirror a dearth or forsaken wilderness for many. The vast majority of Americans have been left in the dust. And education, smart work towards achieving the American dream, and tenacity do not alone create the keys to unlock breakthrough success. Quite the opposite. Without knowing the right people, one can toil all their life and still be left living within 3 months of bankruptcy. Is this not the truth for many Americans? How do we break free from these chains of air and shift the power structure? How can a relative no one positively disrupt and turn the tables on the current system we have in place for succeeding in America? I believe there is an answer that traces back to the beginning of mankind. By going beyond the political divisions which tend to pit us against one another, we can rise above the predictable fights that polarize this country in a constant revolving spiral. How do we go beyond? As we continue to listen to the commentators and newsmakers on television, I wonder if we will ever get our own ideas and become newsmakers ourselves. I stopped owning a television 5 or 6 years ago to stop the ceaseless entertainment and general programming that fills the cup of our minds with content originating from who knows where. Much of it, I find, is propaganda and covert advertisements to generate dollars and influential hegemony by a select few who can afford the means to go on the television airways and send out programming to our eyes and ears. Of course, not all content on television is deplorable. The problem is that after a long day's work, where our time is monopolized by providing for ourselves and family, turning on the television takes away the precious few hours we have left to reflect and process, and perhaps begin to continue our journey to develop ourselves from the inside out and the outside in. Think about it. To go beyond, we must harbor, sow, and reap the precious commodity known as time. Success, amongst other definitions, is the ability to have the time to do what you want to do. Success is not about how big your house is, how many acres of land you have, or the size of your bank account, my friend. Through all this, as we are programmed on the definition of what the American dream is or should be, the cause of liberty and freedom waxes, but mostly wanes away and is left off to romanticized characterization on television, complete with music and technicolor. Brothers and sisters, I write without an agenda. I speak without an agenda, but with the aim of empowering you towards your own independence. We can go beyond by leading in service to our communities, by loving one another in active service that originates from our own creative thinking and passion. I myself was inspired by Izzy Paskowitz's leadership in creating an organization called Surfers Healing that creates awareness on the therapeutic effects of surfing for youth and adults with special needs like autism, Down syndrome, and intellectual disabilities. He and his band of servant leaders tour the world, offering this opportunity for free to thousands upon thousands of people. Soon enough, large corporations like the Ford Motor Company caught on the idea and stepped in to help Izzy scale up. So it is that it has become a community-wide effort and not a one-man crusade. The same goes for me. I was not passionate about simply being a materially rich man. I have always asked the Lord to make my life count for something. That be I a child of His or not, that He use me as an instrument for good to achieve His will. So it is that desire has morphed into the creation of the Scalzi Originals Foundation, a nascent enterprise focused on bringing the community together by creating the opportunity for typical youth and adults and those with special needs to learn how to skateboard. Like surfing, skateboarding at a skate flow park dynamically integrates the brain and body in a fluid motion, while teaching actual life skills like commitment, dedication, and resilience. The cause of liberty and freedom does ring when we step outside of our comfort zone and put each other first. This can take the form of social entrepreneurship, such as has been described, or it can be a man with a hat dancing a story in the middle of a city. What will be your story on how to make things better and shift the focus of what the ideal American dream is? Can it include prompting others to be self-expressive, to exercise liberty, freedom, and wake others up along the way? Perhaps in this way the State of the Union would receive a much-needed correction that would boost our hearts, the cause of freedom, which must be exercised daily, and who knows, even the all-important economy. Thank you.